I'm gonna love you.
With a beautiful art style and dynamic twin-stick combat, Nine Parchments is a dungeon crawler that shines best in a co-op group of up to 4 players. However, with such a shallow pool of loot to change things up for repeated playthroughs, this action rebounds per game leans a little bit on the repetitive side. Nine Parchments tells a light story of a group of dropout wizard apprentices who decided to skip their normal training regimen for a quick path to power by gathering artifacts. Its whimsical tone is very similar to developer Frozenbyte's charming Trine trilogy, which makes sense because Nine Parchments shares the same fantasy universe. What makes Nine Parchments stand out from most other top-down shooters is its combat, which is all about zipping around the screen with a fun and useful blink teleport as you blast away at foes with an assortment of potent spells. Each of the 8 playable heroes begins with 3 distinct spells, but quickly level up and progress until they eventually gain a total of 9 from over 40 decently fleshed out available abilities. Most of these powers are nothing too fancy. For instance, some are fast-moving projectiles like fireballs, some are beams of ice or lightning, while others specialize in area of effect and damage over time. After a little bit of trial and error experimentation, I found myself seamlessly executing complementary combos like using my ice beam to freeze enemies, then switching to my main power spells to take them out permanently. Those enemies all come with elemental resistances and weaknesses, making it essential to pick a diverse set of powers as you level up, especially in single player. It can definitely get a little frustrating when you square off against enemies that become nearly impossible to take down if you don't have the right type of spells. For instance, an ice hog can also have a fire resistance buff, making it immune to both ice and fire spells. If you choose to specialize in those elements, that's your worst nightmare. That said, if you are prepared with the appropriate spells, Nine Parchments allows you to blast through vulnerable foes with little to no effort thanks to a triple damage modifier against appropriate targets. Thankfully, it does a great job mixing up the enemy types you face, and if you crank the difficulty up to the top setting, enemy spawns are randomly generated. Since this is a co-op focused game, it's important to make playing with friends easy, and Nine Parchments does a good job of getting people together. You can freely and easily drop in and out of a friend's game in local or online multiplayer whenever you choose. On Switch, individual Joy-Con play is supported, but without the use of the second stick it's much harder to aim, so I don't recommend it unless you have no other option. Nonetheless, playing with friends is when Nine Parchments is at its best.